for a 7 o'clock start. The game was originally scheduled to start at 6:35. Taking a look now at the standings, we begin in the National League Central, where the Brewers continue to pace things, and they have pretty much all but locked things up. The Brewers' lead is 13 games over the second-place Cardinals. The Cardinals winning in extra innings against the Mets last night. They leapfrogged the Reds not only in the Central Division standings, but also in the wild card standings. The Reds find themselves a half game behind the Cardinals right now. St. Louis, 75 and 69. The Reds, one game behind them in the loss column. The Reds are 75 and 70. Then it's the Cubs and Pirates. Elsewhere, the Giants and Dodgers have already locked up playoff berths. The Giants, hoping to win the National League West, they currently own a 2.5-game lead over the Dodgers. The Padres kind of hanging in, but boy, have they been struggling. They have lost 5 in a row. Meanwhile, the Giants have won 9 straight, the Dodgers 5. The Padres have fallen to 74 and 70. And they once held a fairly comfortable lead for that second wild card spot of the National League, so much so that a lot of national pundits thought that it would be 3 teams out of the National League West making the postseason, with the Giants, Dodgers, and Padres all pretty much automatic bids to make the postseason. Now it's the Padres a full game behind the Cardinals, and then the Phillies remain 3 games back as the National League East division starts to separate a little bit. The Braves have opened up a 4.5-game lead over the Phillies, so the Phillies' only shot to make the postseason now is the wild card. They're 3 games back. The Mets right behind them, 4 games back, the wild card. Their playoff chances certainly fading. Things getting interesting, though, over in the American League. The Rays currently with a controllable lead in the American League East. They're up 8 games on Toronto. The White Sox, a commanding 12.5-game lead over the Indians, and then Houston with a 6.5-game lead over the Mariners. Like the National League, the wild cards are certainly up for grabs. The Blue Jays currently on the top wild card spot by a half game over the Yankees, but you have the Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Seattle, and Oakland. They're all right there within about 3.5 games, so that race really heating up in the American League as well. Checking scores around Major League Baseball, some day games today. One final in the National League, well, with the National League team, it was the Brewers falling today to the Tigers in Detroit, 4-1, the final of that game. Also in the National League, it was the Nationals losing to the Marlins, 8-6, the final of that contest. A true American League game. Blue Jays beat the Rays 6-3, that game in Toronto. Other games around Major League Baseball today. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning in Seattle. The Mariners and Red Sox are tied 3-3. Just getting ready to get started. The Cubs are in Philadelphia. The Orioles play host to the Yankees. The Braves are at home against the Rockies. The Cardinals still battling the Mets in New York. The Twins host the Indians. The Astros are in Arlington to play the Rangers. The Royals at home against the A's, and the Angels are playing the White Sox in Chicago. Padres still taking on the Giants. That series is in San Francisco, and the Dodgers, before they come to Cincinnati, they are playing the Diamondbacks. Speaking of that Dodgers series, that's what's on tap for the Reds. They'll have 3 games against the Dodgers at Great American Ballpark, and those pitching matchups, well, it's going to be some knockdown dragouts in those 3 games over the weekend against the Dodgers. We'll talk about those pitching matchups and bring back the Cowboy and hopefully get this game started when we come back to PNC Park in Pittsburgh on the Reds Radio Network.
During this rain delay, start making your plans to visit the full-size Noah's Ark at the Ark Encounter, just 45 minutes south of Cincinnati and right off I-75. The massive Ark features 3 decks of stunning exhibits. The Ark Encounter also has a zoo, a virtual reality experience, state-of-the-art playground, and more. At 510 feet long, the Ark is the world's largest timber frame structure, and all kids 10 and under enjoy free admission. Visit ArkEncounter.com.
Ruoff Mortgage is proud to be an official sponsor of the Cincinnati Reds. As a team of seasoned experts, Ruoff is ready to help you create a homeownership game plan to cover all your bases. As the #1 mortgage lender in the Midwest, we are proud to welcome thousands of happy home buyers into the Ruoff family. Apply online today at ruoff.com.
After a year off due to COVID, it's time to get outdoors and celebrate Old Settlers Days in Salem, Indiana this weekend. Saturday and Sunday, September the 18th and 19th at the Stevens Museum. Opening ceremonies will be held at 10 a.m. with a national anthem and presentation of colors. There'll be a church service on Sunday at 8 a.m. There'll also be arts and craft vendors opening every day at 10 a.m. and entertainment throughout both days in front of the depot. The Salem Rotary Club will be selling apple cider. There'll be a variety of food vendors and pumpkin painting with Lawson's Farm. All activities will be outdoors. The Old Settlers Days is the annual Free to the Public festival, first established and held for the community back in 1875 to honor the pioneers who settled in the wilderness lands of the Indiana Territory that would eventually become Washington County. All roads lead to Salem, Indiana this weekend for Old Settlers Day, Saturday and Sunday, September the 18th and 19th.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
Dave Concepcion played his first game on opening day 1970. And on this date, September 15th, 1988, Concepcion played his last game. All 2,488 of those games in a Reds uniform. 19 seasons. Concepcion, Barry Larkin, and Pete Rose are the only others to play 19 years with the Reds. And Concepcion didn't get a big send-off on the occasion of his last game. Davey had suffered a shoulder injury earlier in 1988, and he decided to have surgery before the end of the season, hoping for a comeback the next year. But it wasn't to be. And so, September 15th, 1988, the end of Concepcion's great career, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Wednesday afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms, low around 65. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 60%. This weather forecast has been brought to you by MPP of Campbellsburg.
Join us for season 49 of Coach's Corner here on WSLM Radio. First started in 1972, we are proud to continue Coach's Corner on WSLM for our listeners to get to know the coaches, players, and staff of each local school and get the X's and O's each from Eastern, Salem, and West Washington. We have Luke Dean, Blair Thompson, and Jeremy Lowry with us tonight. You'll be hearing from Nate Pierce, one of the new voices of the Salem Lions boys varsity football. He'll be joining you live from Salem McDonald's and talking with our coaches for each Wednesday's program. Tune in for a front row seat to high school sports on WSLM 97.9 FM at WSLM 1220 AM. Along with live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, catch the Jeff Brum Show at 6:05 and stay with us for the Tom Allen Show at 8 p.m.
Hello, and welcome to the 49th scene of Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Nate Pierce. I've got a special guest host tonight. I've got Chris Hunt in the studio with me tonight. He is the president of the Mid-Southern Conference Youth League. That's our new youth football league here in Salem, and we're going to have a little interview with him here in a little while. But up first, we've got Coach Luke Dean. Coach, are you there? Luke, are you there?
Yep.
All right, we got you. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, all right. I'm doing as best as I can. I'm in the middle of trying to sell a house, and boy, I'm about to pull my own hair out on that. So how's it looking this week? Everybody doing okay?
We're out this week.
Oh, you guys are not going to get a chance to play this week.
No, we're not in school, so they won't let us play when we're not in school.
Right. When do you guys go back?
We can start practicing on Monday.
Monday. All right. So that's going to put your next game as let me see here.
Friday. North Harrison.
You guys got North Harrison next.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's the outlook there? What are you planning for? What do you guys work?
Right now, we're not able to meet. We're not able to be with our kids. So since we're not in school, we're not out of practice and that kind of thing. So we've just been trying to communicate through huddle and other methods to kind of get prepared for North Harrison. And it's unfortunate we can't play this week. Last week we kind of got Thursday and Friday we got hit with some more quarantines. School had, we had a lot of kids quarantined in the high school. We had some staff that went out, which ultimately led to the high school being out all week this week. So.
Right. Yeah. When we talked last Wednesday, we were hopefully optimistic there that we was going to get that game in. Just turns out it didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that this is happening, but we got to do what we got to do to keep them healthy so we can get that next game in, right?
Yeah. And I mean that's the key right now is moving forward. We're going with a similar mask requirement as Salem and West Washington are doing, which should help us keep kids in school and keep kids from getting quarantined. And that's been the biggest issue is a school our size, you lose certain kids, and all of a sudden your varsity turns into a JV real quick. And with the schedule we play, that's not ideal.
Yeah, those numbers start to fall off real quick whenever you got to start quarantining and all the contact tracing and all that stuff. So I understand that.
Yeah, and I mean we were fully prepared last week to play at Silver Creek with about 24 kids.
Yeah. That's a tough row to hoe in its own.
Yeah, we were going to go ahead with it, and but then the school, some things that happened, within a quick amount of time that caused the whole school to be shut down. So that led to us not being able to play and participate. So it is what it is, and like I said, moving forward, once we're back in school, we're going with this new mask requirement that should help keep kids in school and not get quarantined, which ultimately that's going to help us keep playing and. Hopefully we can finish out our season and not miss any more games.
Yeah. How do you feel about the North Harrison game?
I know they have a lot of guys back, and they're a big physical team. From watching them on their scrimmage against West Washington that we got week 1, they are doing a little bit a different type of offense. They're still running the same kind of stuff, just have different formations, doing a little more shotgun than they traditionally have. They'll still run some of the same old stuff that they have in the past, and I think you got to prepare for a little bit of all of that. And if something starts working in the game, I think they'll stick to it, and we got to figure out a way to stop whatever that is if that happens. And I just think the key for us is to play physical. You win or lose this game at the line of scrimmage. First down is really important. If you let them get 5-6 yards on first down, that's going to be a long night because they're going to chew and chew and chew at the clock and the ground, and you got to get them behind the chains and make them try to throw the ball and do some things that they don't want to do. And they want to run power, they want to run ISO, they like to run a counter off of it, and they just repeat that. And it's just they're going to do it out of multiple formations and try to outnumber you with some different unbalanced formations and just overpower you at the line of scrimmage. And in years past, we've done well against them in some instances, and other instances we haven't. So I think the key is just playing physical up front and not letting them get much on first down, and try to make them get behind the chains early and play that way defensively. Offensively, you got to take care of the ball. They're a diehard cover 2 team. There's been times where we've been able to get them out of the cover 2, but that's just what they like to do. So we got to give or take what the defense has given us in that aspect, and I think some things are there for us as long as we execute. And once it feels like so long since we played, it's it's one of those things for our guys is we got to come out and it's almost like game 1 again because we haven't. This will be the 3rd straight game we've missed this week, and that's hard to. It's just hard to fathom, really. As much as we practice in the summer and in the preseason, and then get to play in the first 2 weeks, and then boom, we're out this long, and it's just not something we expected and didn't want to happen.
Yeah, and we definitely understand that up here too. We had kind of the same situation. Now I got to watch North Harrison play their first game of the season this year, and I tell you, the hype again that they had with them, they didn't live up to that hype. I was expecting a much more physical team out of them, and as long as our defense kept them pressed, we could do really whatever we wanted to with them. Hopefully they're still in that rut, and you guys can go in there and just press them with your defense and keep them from running up the score on you, and you guys can go in there and score some points. And these, like I said, they just didn't look as tough as what I expected them to look from all the hype. So hopefully, you guys have got an advantage there with that. you've seen that the last couple of weeks they just haven't, really lived up to what they were expected, and take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they came in with expectations of some of what they've had, and they've, not probably had the start that they've anticipated or wanted. I think it just comes down to playing physical, and for us, that's the key, is playing physical up front and tackling. Our last game was, like I said, seems so long ago, we didn't tackle very well. I thought week 1 we tackled pretty well. I thought our defense contained well, and then week 2 it was the total opposite. So, we got to get back to some basics, and, being out for 10 days now, come next Monday, it'll be 10 days that, we're going to have to go back and just do some basic tackling fundamentals and play physical up front and just get back to some basic stuff. And, I think that's the key in this game is playing physical, tackling, and taking care of the ball. Don't give them any short fields. And, they're not typically a team that scores in a hurry. They like to ground the pound and just keep coming at you all night. And if you can't get them off the field, then, it can make for a long night. So I think that's, like you said, it's important to not let them push you around. And I think, up front with our size, we can do that. It's just, key that we get that done on first down and don't let them get into second short or third and short on a consistent basis, because if they get third and short and they don't get it, they're going for it on fourth down. And, it's hard to stop them consistently when they're doing that. So it's just, for us, it's, my biggest concern right now is how long of a layoff we've had and how long we've not played. Like I said, it feels like we're almost back to week 1 from that standpoint. And, come Monday, we got to be ready to practice, and we got to kind of get after it for at least 3 days. And normally we'd get after it for 2 days, and we're going to have to do a little bit more on Monday than what we normally would, and try to get back, make sure we're still in shape, and, get ready to play.
Right, and you were talking about the last game that you guys got to play, that was that North Davies game, and you guys were, weren't really, you didn't have time to prepare for that game. It was just kind of fell in your lap, and you had to go do it, so, the fundamentals are still the same, but, you don't get to run up a game plan very well on them, and, then you're off for that 10 days, and, you got to get back after it. So, you're going to expect a little bit of sluggishness, but you're going to have to, I believe, in my opinion, you're going to have to get those kids fired up during practice this week, because you don't want them coming out flat-footed. We kind of had the same problem in Salem at Brownstown this week. The first quarter, everybody was just flat, so you've got to get them, look, I know this feels like game 1, but, it's go time, so.
Yeah, we got to come ready to play, and it's homecoming, so hopefully that adds another element to just where it should be a big crowd and, things going on at school during the week. And, hopefully that gets the kids where they need to be mentally. I know some are dying to play right now. They were upset on Friday.
Sure,
and,
I'm sure.
We just got to bring that intensity and that just focus, I think, is a big thing. Is focus and intensity to start, because, I'm one of those guys it's a fine line between being hyped up enough and being hyped up too much and having like an adrenaline dump or a crash. And, we got to come in with better focus than we've had the first 2 games that we played. And, if we come out with an intensity like we did against West Washington and we tackle well, I feel good about Friday night. And it's just something we got to, come Monday, be ready to go. Like I said, it's been awkward and weird, and, coming home after school and, not having
to find something to do with your time.
Yeah. So it's not been, I've been coaching for 19 years, and, this has just been strange. It's been a strange year. And, luckily last year we didn't really have this problem. We only missed 1 game, I think. And, it was, somewhat normal as far as the game schedule. And this year's we've had things canceled left and right with JV and the scrimmage and now with the varsity. And it's just been an odd year. And, hopefully this moving forward with the new plan we have in place that'll help keep us in school and help keep our kids in school, to where we can play and, have a full team. And we should have everybody back Monday. We shouldn't have any issues, maybe with 1 injury, and we'll see about that. But other than that, we should have a full squad. And, I know the kids are ready to play, and just hopefully we can, get that week in and keep going, not do this on and off stuff. And, the season's short the way it is. And, this is week 5, which is halfway through the game schedule. But, I always look at it from a 12-week perspective of, You got 2 preseason weeks. You got 10 guaranteed games, so 10 weeks. That's 12-week season. This is actually week 7, and it goes by quick, and it'll be week 10 game-wise before we know it, and just got to keep pressing forward. And, for our guys, I know normally this time of year we're a little beat up, but we should be fresh. We should be ready to go, and, we got to bring that intensity and that focus against North Harrison, and it should be a good night.
Right, and yet, you'd mentioned that on again, off again thing. That's got to be disruptive to the program. If you, get shut down and then you're back, and then something happens, you get shut down again and you're back. That can't be very productive. So hopefully everything, stays good, and your mass program works out and everybody stays healthy.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. We're trying to still communicate and do some things, like I said, through huddle, and make sure the kids are staying up on just knowledge of what's going on and what we're doing, and we'll start taking care of the physical part on Monday when we can get back together and just start getting ready for North Harrison. And it's a big week for us. It's homecoming, but it's also big because we get back on the field and kind of the second part of the season as far as the the last 5-game stretch. Going into sectional. So I think that's key for us is just try to get some momentum. And like I said, I think it was either last week or the week before. Week 1 our run game was going and we struggled throwing the ball. Week 2 our run game struggled a little bit, but we threw the ball really well. And we're looking to offensively come out and be able to put those two together and see what we can do as far as production. And the yardage has not been bad. It's been pretty solid. We got to put more points on the board, and our defense has got to do a better job of keeping guys off the board. So we're excited. We'll be glad to get this week over and get back to it on Monday.
Right, and you guys have you've got so much on the line here, trying to get back to going and stuff. So I wish you guys the best luck out there, and hopefully you guys get your game through this week, and you can get back get back in the black on the scoreboard there. So, Coach, it's been good talking to you. That's all the time I got tonight. I appreciate you calling in, and I look forward to talking to you next week.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, Luke. Bye. All right, we are going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Are you shopping for a new home or looking to refinance at today's interest rates? FirstHarrisonMortgage.com should be the next stop in your rate shopping. It might just be your last. First Harrison Mortgage offers aggressive rates for first-time home buyers, as well as VA, FHA, USDA, and conventional mortgages. You can even get pre-qualified now to know how much home you can afford. Visit FirstHarrisonMortgage.com today. Equal housing lender.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
We are back. I'm live now with Coach Jeremy Lowry. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing okay. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How's them West Washington Senators doing?
Well, we're really happy that we've got to extend and get a second week here. After coming back last week, it's always tough. We from the time we played against Eastern till we got to practice was 16 days. And then from game to game was 20 days. So that was quite the challenge. So we're just excited to get to play 2 games in a row. They always say your most improvements between game 1 and game 2. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, it was a tough loss this week, but, you guys got to play. And like you always say, you got to control the controllables, and you learn those lessons. And, you got to take what you can get out of that and move forward. Can't really dwell on that, but it was a tough night for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Did some really good things. Great start to the game. Valley won the toss. They deferred. We took the ball, drove it down the field, put together a really nice drive. Was able to score first, put up a 2-point conversion, able to go up 8-0. Then we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Not kind of, we did. gave up a big play in the special teams, which you can never do if you want to have success. And they were able to return the next kickoff for a touchdown, and then we drove all the way back down. After they scored, we stopped them on the conversion, and then we kind of had a call go the wrong way on us on a incomplete pass that was ruled as a fumble, but, that's part of the game. And, then they were able to go up, and we traded blows, and then they just kind of separated from us at some point. Hats off to Valley. They have a really nice football team this year, and we just made way too many mistakes.
Yeah, and like you said, that's one of those things that you got to learn what you learn and clean that up as you go and look to the next game. You got to put that behind you, learn your lessons from it, and just move on. Your next game is Paoli, a little bit of a conference matchup there. They're also sporting a record of 1-1 right now, just like you guys. How are you preparing for that?
Paoli Rams are a very fine football team. Great program, ton of tradition. We're going to go over there and play. It's going to be a big game for us. They've got a really nice football team. They've got 17 seniors. Anytime Paoli has 17 seniors, they're going to put quality on the field. It's going to be a big, big game atmosphere. And we're going to have to go over there and play sharper than what we have been. And that's really what it boils down to. We really like our football team, and we've got some kids that can play. We've just really got to clean up our execution and go over there and be prepared for a very emotional and physical contest.
Yeah, looking at your record with Valley, you guys, that was the first loss you had to Valley since 2006. That's one of those things that it's out there. You think about it, but it's one of those things that you got to put behind you. And moving into Paoli, that's a conference rivalry, and that's always a good game. So I expect that you guys will go in there and have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder and ready to go.
Yeah, you just got to prepare. You got to prepare, and you got to put the work in, and that's what it's all about. We talked all summer long about you got to make sacrifices now to have enjoyment later. That carries through the season as well. Paoli's going to be a very familiar football team. Obviously West Washington Paoli, big conference game every year, but added the fact that I was on staff at Paoli for 10 years. I was the head coach in 2017, 2018. I love those guys. That coaching staff is the same staff that was there with me. There's a lot of familiarity. It's one of those games that you love them, but it's like playing backyard basketball against your brother.
Right, and you're going to walk in, and this will be the first time you faced them on the opposite side of the field since you left there, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And just ton of respect for those guys. And we were able to do some really special things there. Couple sectional championships, regional championship, played the semi-state game. There was some really special times for me and my family, and nothing but fond memories. But it'll be fun going back. And we really like our football team here, and really feel like that it should just be a really great football game Friday night of a bunch of kids just really going out and laying it on the line and going out and just some really good competition.
Right. And, as I mentioned before at the beginning of the broadcast, I got a special guest host in here, Chris Hunt. I think he fell asleep over there, but, Chris, you got anything you want to ask?
No, I'm awake.
You got any questions you want to ask Coach?
After being off for as long as you were when it comes to COVID, where do you start when it comes to, getting prepared for, any football game, after being off for, 2-3 weeks? Where do you even start? Do you go back to the complete beginning, or do you start where you left off?
Well, every football game is going to come down to blocking, tackling, and taking care of the football. And, we never like to make the comment, let's get back to fundamentals. I feel like if you're making that comment, then you're not committed to fundamentals the way you need to be. So for us, it wasn't a whole lot different. We always put a lot of emphasis on blocking, tackling, taking care of the football. I mean, that's the structure of how our day starts every day. So it was more about just getting the kids acclimated again. You know, when you go 16 days without putting pads on, virtually it's like week one over again. And that's kind of how we were looking. That's kind of how we looked at last week. That's why I mentioned what I mentioned earlier in the program is we're kind of excited about this week because everyone says your biggest improvements are between week one and week two. We feel like we had 2 week ones.
Yeah, very, very good point. Very good point.
It's because of the situation.
Right. You know, you said that blocking, tackling, and taking care of the football are the 3 biggest things that you got to take care of. And whenever I played, it was more about the cheerleaders. That was the whole reason I wanted to play. But you know, the getting, like you said, getting back to the fundamentals. That's not something that needs to happen at this level. If you're playing, you know, if you're starting on those Friday nights, then you're, you know, you should know your job. But it's getting it back into practice that matters.
You know, it's funny. We're just having this, you know, X's and O's, obviously, game planning, things like that. It's a big part of the game and preparing for a game. However, you've got to be able to get your football team to a point where game planning makes a difference. You know, if you don't show up and play physical football and block and tackle and take care of the football, the X's and O's really don't matter. Schematically, it doesn't matter. Those fundamentals have to be taken care of first before you can even get to the next level of the game.
Right. You can draw up whatever play you want, but if you've not got your guys hitting their assignment, it does you no good at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, the game this week is, you guys say you're at Paoli?
Yes, sir.
You know, that's
on the hill. Great.
On the hill, yeah. And that's one thing that whenever there's a storm rolling in, if you're in Orange County, you're going to be the first one to see it up there. We had a game canceled in middle school on us, and it was a good thing it did because we were putting a whooping on them, and I felt kind of bad there at the end. But you know, their facilities are in pretty good shape over there, and we've been talking about, you know, different facilities around the state. You know, we got the opportunity to play with our youth league on Charlestown's new turf this week, and I tell you what, you know, the turf is a nice thing to have, but there's just nothing like old-fashioned grass. You know, it's 10 degrees hotter at least on that turf.
Oh yeah.
You know, and Paoli's got a decent field to play on, and you know, you guys always had a pretty decent field to play on over there. And one of the you know, one of the things that make people want to come to that school is, you know, your infrastructure and stuff. So those two schools, like I said, both have nice facilities, and you know, whenever you walk in there, you think, you know, especially when you guys come running out of that big inflatable, you look at that team and you're like, you know what, they got their stuff together, and then you got to go out on the field and you prove it.
Yeah, you know, we're very blessed in this area. A lot of schools, fantastic facilities. Paoli no different. You know, they've got the Bermuda field. They put a lot of time and effort to make that field really nice. You know, they got the locker rooms that were built over there in 15. They built into the side of the hill, kind of changed how things look over there. And, of course, you know, us at West Washington, we've got incredible facilities, great practice facilities, great game facilities. Of course, we added the indoor practice facility, the Philip Bowsman Athletic Complex, which is an incredible advantage to be able to go inside when that time of year goes around. And those things make a difference. They're, you know, it gets kids excited. Kids like having nice things. Coaches like having nice things. And, you know, sometimes when weather doesn't allow us to go out, we like to think we have a little bit of advantage that we can just simply go in and still get our practice in uninterrupted.
Yeah, that right there makes a big difference, being able to practice when other people maybe can't. Having that facility is definitely a blessing for sure. Well, Coach, I think that's about all the time.
Well, I got one final question, Nate. I've got a bunch of texts here from some of the viewers, and they all want to know that same question. What do you want on your Super Burger?
They were what? But the viewers were what?
They were wanting to know what you wanted on your Super Burger.
You know, I'm a huge Super Burger fan. I'll be honest with you. I like the ribeye. I like the ribeye sandwich. I like the ribeye and the tacos. Those are my two go-tos.
I've driven over there just for a Super Burger before.
Yeah, there's one place over there I have not been yet.
Oh.
We tried to go once during all this COVID stuff, and you just couldn't get in there. So I'm gonna have to get back over there and try it. Coach, we're gonna wrap this up, and I want you to have a good night. And I want you to know that from all of us here, we wanted to wish you our condolences on your mother's passing.
Absolutely.
So
really appreciate it. I don't need to say it, but we're going to go over to Paoli Friday night, and obviously I spent 10 years on Salem sidelines, 10 years on Paoli sidelines, and now at West Washington. And I think one thing that was always consistent in all those years was my mom on the sidelines and in the stands, and they always say your mom's your biggest fan, and for our family, that was definitely for sure. And I really appreciate your condolences, because we're certainly going to miss her.
Yeah, that's a big hole in the community there. So, well, Coach, you have a good night, and I will talk to you again next Wednesday.
All right, thanks, fellas.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Bye. All right, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Whenever the forecast is nice, you're probably thinking about enjoying the great outdoors. Whether that means doing some four-wheeling or hitting the road in an RV, First Harrison Bank can help make your dreams a reality with a loan designed to meet your needs. Talk with one of our associates about our options for RV, boat, and camper financing. If you're looking for a great auto loan, we can help with that too. To get started, just visit us at firstharrison.com. Keep it easy, keep it local. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, Robert, are you going to a game on Friday?
Yep, I've already got my ticket, Carrie, which we both know as Indiana High School Athletic Association Assistant Commissioners is much more than a ticket.
It's so much more. When you go to a high school sporting event, you're making a contribution to your community.
That's right. The proceeds from ticket sales go right back to your school's athletic department to help pay for things like facility maintenance and officiating crews.
And just by being there, you're encouraging the student athletes in your community to achieve their goals.
They need that encouragement. They need high school sports in their lives.
They really do, because they teach important life lessons like how to be part of a team.
And it's the team that provides a sense of community.
Which is why it's so important for the whole community to come together to support their high school student athletes.
So join us and buy a ticket to the game.
You'll be supporting your entire community.
This is your team. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
All right, we are back. I'm live with Coach Blair Thompson from the Salem Lions. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great, Nate. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I've got Chris Hunt here in the studio with me tonight, so he might pop in here and ask you a question.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Chris. How's it going, man?
Going good, man.
So, Brownstown, don't you wish you had that first quarterback?
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
You go back and watch that and replay that, and just we had a little rust, and it took us a while to get that rust knocked off, and unfortunately, it was a bigger hole than we could get out.
Right. And we said that at the beginning of the game. It was going to be one of those things that we've got to hit them in the mouth first thing. Me and Ryan up there in the booth, and we've got to, once we hit them, we got to put our foot on the gas and stay on it. And we just had a hard time finding that gas pedal. It seemed like in that first quarter.
Yeah, we weren't able to get a rhythm going offensively really until the second half, and maybe the end of the second quarter we moved the ball pretty well. But I mean, we only had 5 plays on offense in the first 15 minutes of the game. So it's kind of hard to get anything going if that's all all the momentum you got. Right. 5 plays. So, but
we settled in and made a game out of it.
I tell you what, though, I'm going to put the blame solely on Grayson Hunt just because he's sitting over here next to me. He's going to have to be a better motivator in the future.
Grayson played a heck of a game Friday night.
He really did.
It was really, really, really blocked well. I told him probably the best game I've seen him play.
Grayson's one of those kids that he's very smart, so he knows his stuff, and he gets out there, and he's just got to execute.
I just wish I could get him to do dishes. He does everything good except for dishes.
Right. So next week, this Friday, we're coming in to going down to see Clarksville and see what we can handle down there. What's the game plan?
One of the things, obviously, they have a couple athletes that can go, 90 yards so they touch the ball. So they run, it's really unorthodox what they do. You have to be really sound because a lot of the things they do turn into almost like a backyard football play, and if you're not sound defensively on that, then before you know it, they're in the end zone. So they have a kid, Lamar kid, number 23, that's one of the top rushers in the Midwestern Conference, one of the top rushers in the state. I think he's averaging like 180 a game. Had over 200 against Providence last week, and I just we continue to try to get up for this game. And you beat a team 50 points last year, and it's easy for a high school kid to think that they're just going to walk in and win, and that's not the case in the Conference.
Right. If you're judging it by the past few years, this is an easy win. But if you go in there with that attitude, then it's you've got nobody to blame but yourself if you get beaten on this. So you gotta train just as hard, you gotta practice just as hard, you gotta stay just as focused.
Yeah, and that's one of the things last year after beating Brownstown, everybody was worried about it being a trap game for us, and then I'm more feared of it being a trap game this year than it was last year. We've not practiced well this week. Energy's been down. That's on me as a coach. I gotta get us ready to go. So I got one more day to get us back to where we need to be. And it was when you put all your eggs in a basket of going after the Midwestern Conference and you lose it, in one game basically. It could be a downward spiral there. But we want to polish some things this week. We're gonna play some new players, play some new fresh faces, and we got some guys that are banged up and. We had to replace them with some people that step up and be the next man up. So we're excited about seeing some new people on Friday night and see what these upsets can do.
So there's no issues with COVID, or everybody's doing good. We're going to get this game in for sure.
Yeah, well, I don't know about for sure, but yeah, we're good. Clarksville's good, so hopefully we can get down there and play. I know they've really done a nice job of improving their facilities down at Clarksville. So. We're excited about my first year teaching was at Clarksville, and I got a lot of good friends who still work down there, so I'm excited to get down there.
Well, really, I didn't know that. That's cool to actually get to go. Coach Jeremy Lowry, he's got the same thing going this week. He's getting to go over to Paola the first time he's faced them since he's been back in Washington County and back down this way. So getting to go to somewhere that's familiar like that is a lot of fun. Just don't take it easy on him, Coach. I know they're your buddies and all, but let's stay after that.
Well, I remember last year that the quarterback of Clarksville literally handed the ball to one of the other teammates.
Not only did he hand him the ball, he took his play sleeve off and handed it to him and said, "You're the quarterback.
You do it. I'm done."
So they had a rough game up here.
I'm hoping it's going to be the same way this year.
Yeah, let's hope for that. But like I said, you can't count on that. You can't practice like that. You're expecting to go in there and just get the dub. So
if you remember last year, I had to call timeout halfway through the first quarter and politely talk to my defense about murder because we weren't playing very well. So I got after them a little bit today in practice, and we'll see how we respond. I think it's one of the things that's frustrating for me right now is I've never had a coach effort in any team I've ever played or coached with. And right now our effort's not real good this week. So hopefully after today they'll take my words to consideration and we'll get after tomorrow and be better on Friday.
Sounds like you had to light some fires.
Yeah. Not with matches either. Let's just put it that way.
right. They're removing your foot right now, huh?
We've been there.
At 14, they gotta unlock it too well when it gets there. Yeah.
I gotta tell you what, I had a youth game this weekend that was the same way. In practice last night, I had a couple of them that were, scared to show up at practice, but so you have those moments where you've got to find that you got to find that new inspiration for them, and you got to find that extra edge to or those words of encouragement that they need. And I've always said that you've got a great knack for knowing when to love them and knowing when to coach them, and as long as they're not taking advantage of that, getting that time to coach in, maybe they'll their ears are perked up and they'll take it to heart.
Well, I think there's so many things, so many factors here that people don't really realize from the outside. Is that these guys were sitting home for 2 weeks doing nothing.
Right. And
as much as we could say, hey, we want you to get out and run, or we want you to watch film. I mean, they were sitting home doing nothing, and so.
And we look at them week to week as athletes, and you kind of take advantage of that, or not really take advantage of that, but take that for granted that these are just athletes. But outside of this, they've got home lives, they've got their personal stuff that's going on. So being idle for that 2 weeks can bring in a lot of negative stuff sometimes. So it's real important to keep their minds focused and keep their morale up.
Yeah, and I think some of them, to be honest, Nate, were home thinking, wow, this is pretty nice. I don't have to go to practice.
Right. They got that lazy bone.
I don't have to run. I can sit home and play Fortnite, and that's a lot easier to do.
Yeah, and I've got a senior. He's not sitting at home. He's working every night, but, I really wish he would have, put that 66 back on this year and been on that field.
Yeah, and I think, when you're in it, I had a conversation with Seth this afternoon, Hobson. I was like, when you're in it, you're living it, right? And then all of a sudden we had 2 weeks, it wasn't a vacation because people were sick. But I mean, it was for these guys. They're teenagers sitting home. They weren't doing their schoolwork. They weren't watching film, and some of them were like, "Hey, this is a pretty good gig," So we gotta right the ship. And I'm a firm believer, and I said it from day one. I'm gonna play who the best players are on our football team, whether they're a freshman or they're a senior. And,
absolutely.
You're either gonna get better or you're not. And I don't accept my bads anymore.
Right.
We are a senior laden team, and if you make a mistake, it's effort based, and you can't play football at Salem. So there's a couple people that need to check themselves in the mirror this weekend, and hopefully we do that and come out and play football.
Well, yeah, and that 2 weeks off, that vacation where you're just sitting and relaxing, and hey, this is a nice gig, is all fine and good until you get out there Friday night and you get punched in the mouth, and that really sucks.
And Nate, I really want to say though, and you've been around the program for a while now, in years past, if we would have got down 14-0 at Brownstown, if we would have got down 21-7 at Brownstown, our kids would have folded up shop, and it would have been 60-7 or 50-7 or whatever. And we came back out in the second half, or we scored right before the half to make it a 7-point game. Came back out in the second half and scored in 3 plays, and then scored again in the fourth quarter to have a chance to tie the football game up with 6 minutes to go. And usually when you're playing Coach May, you better score a lot in the first half.
Right, because he's going to break you down in that second half.
The second half are going to shut you down.
Right, and and I 100% agree with you on that, and that's why I was saying, at the beginning there, don't you wish we had that first quarter back, because from the second, third, and fourth quarter, especially late in the third quarter, those boys were pouring their hearts out there. They were putting it on them, and like you said, they were able to catch up there at one point, and we lost by 9 points. It's not a terrible loss, but you can't help but wonder if we could have got those 9 points if we played a little different in the first quarter. So, but you can't really, hindsight's 20/20, and you just got to look at what's next. And like Coach Lowry says, you got to control the controllables and move on.
Right. Yeah, and that's I know we'll bounce back. I know these kids, and like I said, I've coached them since they were in 7th grade, and I know who they are. I know what they're made of. And, sometimes you need to be pushed a little bit. And as a coach, it's my responsibility. It's my staff's responsibility to get these kids to believe in what they can, take them levels that they can take themselves. And I think that I am a player coach, and we do have a good time, but it comes down to it that I got to have guys that are going to lay it out on the line for us, and usually they do, and hopefully we come out Friday and do that. And I know we will, I know we will, but we got to when you have games like this that you should win, right? And we haven't had very many of them in the past, right? But if you take games that you should win, you got to work on things that you're going to work on in the future. So right now, everything that we do the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, is gearing us up to play Gibson Southern or play Southridge or play Harry Shields, right? On Mount Vernon.
Get some of that good sectional action in. And it was funny you mentioned you coached some of these kids since they were in 7th grade. It's cool watching these kids grow up and seeing how well they change and things. I'm coaching my 11th team right now in youth football, and some of these kids I've coached a few years. Some of your seniors I've coached since from 3rd grade to 6th grade. Kenyon Richardson, I had him all 4 years of youth league. And it's amazing to see what they become once they get to that varsity. Kenyon Richardson, I had to beg him to play 2 years in a row, and look at the monster he's become.
Yeah, I know Porter and Danny have both told me the same thing, that they didn't want to go to practice, or they didn't get to play or whatever. And I think Porter said one time he played like a total of 2 minutes maybe his first year, and that's that's what's awesome about the program we got going on right now. Chris has been a huge part of getting that thing ready.
Absolutely.
And he runs the whole show for us, and seeing and I mentioned it on the internet the other night, but seeing our crowd that we had at Brownstown, and there wasn't a place to sit.
And that's something me and Ryan talked about a lot too there in the broadcast. Is we travel so well, and the heart of Salem football is definitely beating strong.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love seeing our little kids in their yellow uniforms playing football on the side. That to me just it was weird. So at that moment in the fourth quarter, it was a flood of memories coming back to when I was their age, and just seeing this is what I wanted our program to be. And we've worked. There's been a lot of work put into this thing for the last 20 years since Coach Monsinger took back over, and then with Coach Moriarty, and we kind of went back downhill, and then Coach Hartsfield came in and gave us everything that he had to get us to where we're at, and then hopefully I can continue to take this thing to the next level.
Right. And I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you got a little emotional on me Friday night, and that just goes to show your character. You really care about these boys, you really care about the game, and where Salem football's going.
Yeah, I just man,
I could tell you were very reminiscent. When you walk out of the booth and you walk back down there on that field, I could tell that you were reliving some memories and second guessing. But Coach, I think you're doing a great job, and I just want you to understand and know that we're all pulling for you, and I think they made the right choice bringing you in as head coach.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. I just I wanted to see that celebration on that sideline or on this side of the field. Just kind of wanted to keep that in my brain, right? Because I like to be motivated and to continue to get better.
Right. That's a great motivator.
I think Nate, the thing that for us, my staff in general, and these guys, I have guys that have played for me, I have guys that I've coached with, I've guys that I've coached for, all on my staff, right? And so, and then we got some new guys. Coach McCartney obviously is one of the best, but the thing is, we as the staff want this so bad for the kids. It's not about us, it's never about the coaches. It's about our kids, and when you want something so bad for somebody, and then you feel like you let them down, or you're a couple points short, and that stings a little bit. So didn't get much sleep over the weekend, but we're prepared and ready to play Clarksville, and we think Clarksville might get some of our anger on.
Right. And that's what counts is how you bounce back. Well, Coach, that's all the time I got tonight. I appreciate you calling in, and I will see you guys Friday night.
All right, Nate, I appreciate it. Thanks for all you do for us.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back, and we'll interview Chris Hunt a little bit about this youth league.
$2995 or visit infarmbureau.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Green, Mayor of the City of Salem. Go Salem Lions! If you're planning that bonfire during or after the football game this fall, please use caution. I want to remind you to be safe around your bonfires and avoid starting any fires during extremely dry conditions. Also, I want to remind you that only fires you can have in the City of Salem limits should be no bigger than a 3-foot square area and 3 foot high. Burning brush and leaves in the city limits is prohibited. Just like the Salem Lions, we're proud of the hard work our firefighters do at the City of Salem Fire Department. If you have any questions, please give our fire department a call at 812-883-4970. Thanks.
New Parmesan crusted papadillas. Who doesn't love a slice of pizza with tons of ooey gooey cheese? Papa John's is expanding their papadilla lineup with the introduction of the Parmesan crusted papadilla. The new papadilla features Parmesan cheese baked to a crisp on a fresh, never frozen, original 6-ingredient dough. You can order one for just $7. Hi, I'm Shelby Lehman, the new manager of your Salem Papa John's, and I'm excited to see you at the store. I'm a familiar face as I've been working here with my husband Sean over the past few years. I'm the new manager, so when you stop in, ask for me if you need anything. I'll be more than glad to make sure your experience at our store is the best. When you stop in over the summer months, be sure and sign up to win Holiday World tickets courtesy of your Salem Papa John's and WSLM Radio. Check us out online or call us here at the store, 812-883-3369. Also, we are hiring for drivers and insiders. You can stop in or put an application online at papajobs.us.
This is Becky, and we're live at John Jones Auto Group for the John Jones Auto Minute right here on WSLM.
Hello there, Jalen Hoare here at John Jones in Salem, Indiana. Don't listen to what they're telling you. Here at John Jones, we have a ton of trucks and a ton more coming in. So come see us. We've got a bunch of Silverados inbound from the factory, one of the few dealerships around with inventory. We've got a large selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, over 250 used cars here just at our Salem location. So come see us over here at John Jones and prepare yourself and your kids for back to school. You want to be pulling up to school in a brand new vehicle. Check out our inventory online for qualified vehicles at johnjonesautogroup.com or give us a call at 877-473-5546. John Jones Chevrolet Buick Cadillac is ready to serve you.
At John Jones GMC, you see so many because they paid so little.
All right, we're back and live. I'm here with Chris Hunt. Like I said, he's the president of the Mid-Southern Conference Youth League.
Hey, Nate.
It's good to get to talk to you. Me and Chris have been friends for a long time. We've coached a lot of football together. We've tried to kill each other on the field a few times. We're the one that always keeps each other in check. We coached a couple of good teams together. Me, him, and Ryan Steepleton. We called that the Dream Team, and Spud Shockey knows all about that. Don't you, Spud?
Yes, he does. I've yelled at you. You've yelled at me. We've both yelled at Ryan, and we all have yelled at Curtis. So
that is for sure. Yeah. Curtis is he's one of those that you just can't help but yell at him from time to time, but you gotta love him.
And he's always there. He's just like he's always going to show up, regardless if you want him to or not.
All of his motivational speeches, they take 20 minutes. It's like, hey man, we got to play some football at some point.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this league a little bit. It was a little bit of a change from last season. Been a little rocky getting going, but of course, everything that's new is going to be a little rocky. How do you feel it's working, and what are your goals?
Well, I mean, we've worked we've done this a long time, Nate. Me and you.
Absolutely.
We've talked about doing this exact same thing for a long time. Not because, our predecessor really did a bad job. It was always the same. It was always just we played 3 teams, or, we would bring an outside team in, and we never really went anywhere. And
there never was really any ambition for growth.
None. And we wanted to make sure that when we took this over, that we wanted to make sure that, we played, kids in the MSC league. Grace can tell you, we've worked, so hard to make sure we played those teams, because those teams are going to be the teams that they play the rest of their high school career. So,
right, and we coach from the ground up in this league, and even in years past, we've always, whatever our offense our high school is running, that's what we're putting in with the youth league, so that they have all those years to play that same offense or that same set, and whenever they get to the high school level, they're more prepared to go. So it would make more sense, and it makes a lot of sense to say, let's play these other teams that are in the league so that we get a little bit of a look at what they're doing, and then we're a little more prepared for that as well. So to me, it's a win-win situation.
Right, and we've changed. With and everyone's having the same issue with COVID. We've canceled games. When we first did the schedule, it literally looked like a hieroglyphics. I think Ange even said, I think I need to learn how to speak Chinese to read the schedule. But we finally got all that figured out. We're trying to reschedule games, and that's kind of the biggest thing. I spend most of my time, when I get off work, I got an hour drive home, and I spend most of my time on the phone trying to figure out, okay, well, let's try to make up this game or get that game going, or we got to get concessions going, because not only am I the president of the MSC Youth Football League, but I'm also the president of linebackers.
Right.
So
That's a lot to have on your plate. That's why you don't answer me most of the time. I thought you were ignoring me because you didn't want to hear what I had to say.
it's a little bit of both. I can say that, like I said, we've known each other a long
That's
time.
right.
So.
I have texted you and looked right at my wife and said he's not going to answer that.
But it could have also been the question you asked me too, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If it was one of those things where I was, poking a little fun at you, you're probably not going to answer until we get face to face.
Yeah, especially when it comes to our ultimate, the ultimate goal of the NFL.
That's right. That's right. Because we're taking the dream team all the way.
Yes. Well, you mean the one you stole from New England? Oh yeah, I said it. Yeah.
No. I was talking about us three.
Oh, us three. Yes.
We're
yes.
talking about
NFL.
okay.
All right.
Do I need to show you a picture of that ring?
No.
Because that was an awesome
Because
ring.
there's other pictures I could show you that you don't want to see either. So.
Well, you mean of Aaron Rodgers?
There's that one.
Looking
Yes.
like he's the guy that's going around stealing everybody's catalytic converter.
Yes. That's exactly it. Yeah. That's the pictures I was thinking about.
I was wondering about that because Sunday I texted you about that game.
Yes.
He threw that interception and he looked at the camera and smiled.
Yeah. He wants to go away. I think. Yeah. He wants out of Green Bay, and honestly, I don't know why they just don't go ahead and let him go. But
right. But let me tell you, back in the late '90s and early 2000s, the best games in the NFL were Green Bay versus Tampa Bay.
I have said that. Yeah.
They would go back and forth.
Yep.
Warren Sapp and Brett Favre.
Yes.
Constantly.
Favre.
So with the youth league, I noticed we've done things a little different with this year, and this is a big thing. I did this with my kids whenever I coached 5th and 6th grade when my son was in 5th grade. Their jerseys. We get to keep the jerseys this year. And that's something special to a kid. If you walk into my son's bedroom right now, he's got all of his jerseys framed and hanging on his wall. Getting to take that jersey home with your name on it, that's something special, especially whenever it comes to if you've had a good winning season or you had a good set of coaches, because it's not always about a winning season. You and I both have coached winless seasons. It happens, it's the luck of the draw sometimes.
Yeah, like the first one that I did at RJ, I literally took the team away from me.
You to walk away.
But the funny thing about that team is that team, I don't even think we scored a touchdown. Justice Stevenson was on that team. We had a lot of good kids on the team, and they still come to me and say, that was my favorite year.
Absolutely. That same year that you had that, I was coaching the Buccaneers that season.
Yes.
And on that team, we had, me and Nate were talking about it last night. We had Ty Sweeney. We had Keenan Richardson.
Right.
We had Sammy Lyles. We had Reese McCoskey. Blake McLaughlin. We had some of these Bailey Bowes. We had some absolute studs on that team, and we didn't win a single game. But I tell you what, at the end of the season, we all learned a lot of lessons. We had a good time, and those kids still come up to me, every time I see them and give me a hug, call me. They say, "What's up, Coach Nate?" And that's what it's about. It's not always about winning the games. Of course, you always you want to win, but it's more about making those connections and being a positive role model in those kids' lives and teaching them the fundamentals and keeping them safe.
And I think that's a lot of reason why a lot of the kids that are playing today on that high school team, I think that's why they come back, because when they started, it was me and you that me, you, Jeff, Aaron Howie,
right, Anson Humphrey.
We actually put our heart and soul into that, and when we talked about when it came to the youth football, we said there's certain things that I wanted to look at, and I've been doing some research on this for a while, and I looked all around the state. It's the way that the entire state of Indiana actually does youth football. It's not Park and Rec anymore. It's let's join the league. One of the biggest football leagues in America is ran by Snoop Dogg. I mean, who would have thought Snoop Dogg would, but it's not a Park and Rec team. It's a basically where you go and you play the other teams that you're going to be playing for the rest of your high school career. And the jersey thing, I thought that was something that we just needed to do, because those jerseys, I know a lot of kids they couldn't afford the jersey, to hang in their room, and I wanted to make sure that those kids at the end of the year could hang that jersey up and say, hey, this is when I played youth football.
Those jerseys kind of take on their own personality. Whenever those kids are on the football, it's almost like being a superhero. They're Clark Kent throughout the league. But on game day, they get to jump in that phone booth and come out as Superman and get out there and play. And that's a mental thing that helps them get through. I am a football player.
Right.
Just like at the end of the season, we would always give them an award. You have earned the title of football player.
Yep. And that came from us. I mean, that wasn't that wasn't a league thing. That wasn't it came from us.
Right.
To where I wanted to make sure at the end of the season that the kids remember this season.
Right.
We went out and we bought all brand new equipment. To make sure that every kid had brand new equipment. That was a huge expense. I mean, we raised a lot of money, but I had people coming up to me and just handing me money, saying, "Hey, this is for the youth," and so we would use that for we used all that money for the for the equipment.
Yeah, and then some,
and then some, because I mean, I know that I'm in this quite a bit of money myself.
Right. Yeah, and that just goes to show how much heart and how much you're actually putting into this, and how much you believe that this is going to work.
At this point, me and you do not have a dog in this fight. We don't have a kid in this league whatsoever.
And I love that about that. We do not have kids playing, but we're still here coaching. And I feel like that gives that extra, I don't know, almost a little bit of a bonus, because you're not going to kind of focus on your kid.
Right.
And you're going to coach from the bottom up. You can only play as good as your weakest player.
Right.
You've got to coach from that bottom up.
Exactly. And and I've as well as I do, I've avoided this interview for the last 3 weeks because and the reason I have is not because it's not, I don't want the recognition. It's not because that's not the reason I'm doing this. I'm not doing this so everybody can say, hey, look at Chris Hunt, because I really worked hard to get this done, but there's other people behind the scenes too. I've got my vice president Josh Small. I've got my secretary, which is Stephanie Rocky. My wife's the treasurer. Angie Tucker is a huge part of this league.
Absolutely.
We've worked our tails off, and we continue to work our tails off. Continuously when it comes to every Sunday, Friday night. So. We're doing a lot of different things that hasn't been done for, and we're not getting paid for this. I want everybody to understand that we're not doing this because we're getting paid for it.
Yeah, this isn't a job for us.
No, this is. I say this is the most stress for the least amount of money I've ever made in my life.
You're right. And every year, I tell my wife, I'm gonna go ahead and coach again, and she's like, "You gonna put yourself through that again?" Like, yeah, and it comes from a love for the game and a love
for these kids
and a love for seeing these kids love the game. And I'm always a staunch advocate, because I was that kid. I was that kid that we couldn't afford to do things. We couldn't afford to play extracurricular stuff. So I had to, bust my tail to do anything. And I don't want to see kids that want to play not get to play.
Well, and that's what we said also when it comes to, the entry fees. They talked about a lot of the entry fees where someone said, oh, it's going to be $200. And, then I've heard, oh, it's going to be $300. And you're going to buy your own equipment. And, yeah, we did have to raise a little bit this year from last year.
But as it stands, we're still the cheapest in Indiana.
We are. Yeah, we are. Well, we're not as cheap as West Washington. We're not as cheap as some of the other ones, just because, we had to buy all brand new equipment. I mean, that was a huge expense. And
yeah, because we didn't take over from Parks and Rec.
Correct.
We started
We
from
started
scratch.
new, and also, I mean, you can understand. I mean, through that $60, $22 of it's your jersey. You also get a T-shirt that's $10.
Right.
So when you look at what you're really paying for, and you're getting brand new equipment. You're getting so much more for literally less.
Absolutely. And and with all that put aside, the money, the cost of it, all of that doesn't really add up to the benefits that we get out of it. And these kids get out of it. Me and Coach Medlock were telling our kids last night, we don't come back year after year because we like it. It's that didn't come out exactly what I meant. We don't come back for us. We come back for them.
Right.
It's that love of football, getting to see those kids learn that love of football and move to the next level. And we've had a lot of success. We talked tonight about some of the kids. The seniors this year were some of the first kids that seniors last year were the first kids I coached, but the seniors this year were the first kids that I coached from the bottom all the way up.
Right.
And it really makes me proud to go up there and call those games on Friday night and see those kids that I watched come out of their shell and become the player that they are.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, we're running a little over, but I think that's okay. I don't think anybody's going to complain about it. I thank you for finally coming in and getting this interview in with me.
Hey, no problem. It was great. It was great.
Like it or not, you're coming back. So.
Oh.
All right, everybody.
I kind of figured that. That's the reason I've been avoiding you for 3 weeks.
I need to give out my motivation for this week. It's not whether you get knocked down; it's whether you get back up. Coach Vince Lombardi. So you guys take that to heart. Remember that. We got knocked down this week, but we are going to get back up here at Salem. And everybody around the league, around the county, has had the same issues. We've been knocked on our butts a couple of times. It's time to get back up. All right, everybody, have a good night, and thank you for joining us on Coach's Corner. You guys catch me on 1220, or I'm sorry, on 97.9 SLM, WSLM on Friday night with my co-host Ryan Larimore. You guys have a good night.
And Indiana gets to it.
Indiana football is back.
What a tremendous grab. Hoosiers are threatening at the 3-yard line.
Catch the action at Memorial Stadium as head coach Tom Allen leads the Hoosiers in the battle against this year's homecoming opponent, the Michigan State Spartans, on October 16th. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit IUHoosiers.com today. Support the Hoosiers in 2021. Go IU.
He's down to the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown! How about that?
If you're searching for a career, GKN can provide an opportunity for you. GKN Powder Metal in Salem, Indiana is your full metal shapes solutions provider. GKN is currently recruiting for CNC operators for 12-shift schedules, which is 3 days 1 week and 4 days the following week. You may apply in person Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. Starting wage is $18.45 up to $24.75 based on experience, plus 60 cents per shift premium for night shift and a full range of competitive benefits. Competitive wages and medical, dental, and vision insurance. Life insurance optional. Free short, long-term disability. Free life accident insurance, plus 401k savings plans with company match. Shaping powder metal into high performance and high precision components. GKN provides leading powder metal expertise and process experience to transform ideas into production. GKN is an equal opportunity employer.
Keep playing. Keep working. Keep going. And keep moving with the unmatched orthopedic care at Baptist Health. With a best-in-class team and procedures you won't find anywhere else in the region. It's no wonder most people choose Baptist to help them keep on keeping on. Visit baptisthealth.com/ortho to find a Baptist Health provider.
At Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
See Celebrity Home Loans in Salem.
where everyone gets treated like a star. Come experience the star treatment with us. You'll never go back to the ordinary home loan experience again. Stop in today and see Dennis Baxter, branch manager of the Salem office, to start working on a new home loan or refinancing today. They've served nearly 50,000 families with over $15 billion in loans. Stop in and see Dennis and his staff. They're ready to...